Bodie Show. Living on the water is the only life we know. Yo, ho, ho, ho. It's time for the Bodie Show.
Summer's over.
I don't know. It's like we're getting local summer up here.
Summer's over for me.
Oh, that is so sad.
We're remote. We're remote, and we haven't been remote since June.
I know. It's a big moment.
It is a big moment.
You are in
Balakinwood in my living room.
Oh.
Yeah. I still did some Bodie stuff today.
What'd you do?
I coached crew for the first time this fall season.
Oh, congratulations. You're back in your cheater boats.
It was beautiful out there. I had one kid in a single, and he was really good today. He was just like super attentive and mentally engaged. I was gently leading him toward a conclusion, which he then came to himself, which is always nice.
Oh, congratulations. Yeah. That sounds delightful.
Yeah, it was fun.
Well, I am here in Fisher's Landing, still on the river. I haven't been in a boat in a couple days.
Okay.
But that's okay. I mean, I could use a break, frankly.
Right.
Before that, it was all boats all the time.
Yeah. Is the summer over yet? I went back and found the clip of you saying that.
Is the summer over yet, for Christ's sake?
And I mixed it into the last episode. I don't know if you caught that.
Oh, yeah, because it's like the longest summer ever. Going since Eclipse days.
Since the Eclipse and Uncle Sam Boat Tours started their service for the summer in April for the Eclipse. And then ever since then, you've just been... So it was so long that you had to power wash it 2 times.
Exactly.
Instead of 0 times.
It's just a serious situation.
It is Tuesday at 8:15 p.m. This may be the furthest we've pushed it yet for our weekly Wednesday podcast.
I know.
It's
so true.
Yeah. I went
really down to the wire today.
I went out to San Francisco to support my friend Jeremy in the Waves to Wine MS ride, which I did not ride in because Canada is an unsafe place.
Canada?
Yeah, well, that's where I broke my rib.
Oh, that's right. So is it still... Yeah, have we covered that? We have, right?
Yeah, we mentioned it.
The fact that your rib was broken?
Yeah.
It's not funny. I'm not laughing at you. But the way you broke it, I feel like people ask me, how did you break it? And I tell them, and they don't believe me. They're like, that doesn't make any sense.
That I slipped on a stair.
You went to Canada on a vacation, then you fell into maybe a railing?
A handrail, yeah. I slipped on a step, fell backwards, and the handrail that was at the bottom of the step stabbed me in the ribs in the back on the left. And I felt,
right. It was a stabbing situation.
I felt something
just
crack, and that was bad. And then I sat down for a long time, and then I went and got coffee and walked it off because I'd always heard that broken ribs were, there wasn't anything you could do for them. So I'm like, well, I guess that means I can just do whatever I want or whatever I can tolerate. Probably wasn't a good idea.
Then you went to the doctor, and they were like, you're being dangerous.
Well, and that was a Friday or so. And then on Tuesday morning, I was talking to my best friend, Mark, who has been on the show before. He is the Bodie Show cocktail consultant. I was talking to him, and I sneezed really hard. And that's when something soft tissue went, and then a bunch of muscle spasms started. And then I went to the doctor, and they're like, you did what? You didn't come see us? You went scuba diving? And which I had done. And that means they were scared about a bunch of heart stuff, like kidney, lung stuff that I wasn't even thinking about. So anyway, enough about me and my bullshit. So anyway.
You want to talk about my back injection instead?
Yeah, let's talk about you and your bullshit.
No, I just think it's funny that we're both ailing. I mean, funny, but also not funny. And maybe we're old, and maybe it's the end of summer. I feel like some years where our feet are all beat up from hitting from the cleats.
Cleats,
that's a standard thing.
I'm about to lose a toenail from a cleat kick. That is a common Bodie injury, kicking a cleat.
Kicking a cleat, sure.
Cleat kicking. And I kicked a cleat on Julia's houseboat.
You did?
Yeah.
There's some big ones over there.
Yeah,
you gotta look out.
They're big. They're big industrial cleats because it's a barge yacht.
It is.
Yeah. And no, but I was saying, I went out to the Bay Area. I went to San Francisco because my best friend Jeremy got diagnosed with MS about 3 years ago, and he's doing very well. He's been in remission since his first flare. He organized a team for the Waves to Wine MS ride, and I was going to ride in that, but then I didn't really train, so I was going to do the really short one, and then I broke my ribs, and I tried riding a bike, and it didn't feel great, so I was like, you know what, I'm just going to support people. And
that's good.
It was good. It was an awesome time. I saw a bunch of my oldest, bestest friends. We had a good time. Jeremy and his wife, Jeanette, have a place on the Russian River in Healdsburg, and I did go out in a kayak on the Russian River, and it was lovely. It's a very cold, clear river right now. A bunch of the people I was supporting, they did the 100-mile ride, which goes through western Marin County. Went out to Tamales, the town of Tamales, and then from there went out to Marshall, past Nick's Cove, along Tamales Bay, and saw a bunch of Tamales Bay. So that was cool. Just like a really good dose of Northern California. I used to live out there, and I love the place.
Yeah,
And
sounds delightful.
it still feels like home, so that was good.
There's nothing wrong with California. Well, that's not true. There's plenty of things wrong with California, but it is so nice there.
Yeah.
Right? Was that your experience? You got there and you're like, what the shit? Why is it so nice here?
Yeah, I did. Well, it was like we were in the city and it was foggy as hell, and I was like, oh, okay, I forgot about this part.
Yeah, foggy city.
But like the kayaking on the on the Russian
on the river was nice.
That was nice. Yeah. It's kind of
well. I had while you were gone, while you were over on the left coast over there, I had a very boaty weekend because the weather here is like the best weather we've had all summer.
I've heard that.
And I stayed overnight on multiple houseboats. I kind of had like a merganser weekend where I packed everything up on Friday and then didn't touch land again until Sunday.
Nice.
So that was fun.
You stay on your houseboat?
First, I stayed on Julia's houseboat on Friday night, and then on Saturday night we both stayed on mine.
Oh, she came back. That's nice. That's right, because she was up here for the grape harvest at the winery on Grindstone Island.
Yes.
So she was flying if not solo, then at least
solo. Yeah,
she was flying solo. No,
rare. She's got 2 young kids, so you don't get a lot of alone time with 2 young kids, and so she had a solo weekend, and we made the most of it, and it was very fun. And then had an amazing all-day Sunday cruise.
Oh, Sunday cruise in the Bluffer with Jay.
It was fun. And then rolled back in on Sunday. Just like that feeling of just, it's funny. I really like that. I love the feeling of being in a boat for multiple days, just like being all boat. And then rolling back into my house and sort of have to recalibrate, and you sit down and you can kind of still feel the water. It's fun.
Yes. There's
a word for that. One of our listeners told us.
I don't remember it. Do you?
No, but I'll look it up and we'll add it to the note. Somebody told us what it was, that it was a really cool word, and I was so excited that there was a word for it.
When you feel still feel the water motion under you, even though you're on dry land.
Yeah.
I used to get that when I was a kid. So my parents would rent charter a sailboat on the Chesapeake, and we'd go out there was a streak of years when we would go out for a 2-week cruise, bareboat charter. So you bring all your stuff aboard, you're in charge of the boat, you're just renting this boat and going. And these sailboats, and we'd sail all over the Chesapeake and, get off the boat maybe twice, 3 times, to go walk around St. Michael's or Annapolis or something like that. And I very distinctly remember swaying back and forth because the land felt like it was moving underneath me. So there's I'm psyched for the word.
Yeah, it's great. I love that feeling. But you and I have had before you left, we did have some adventures. I feel like it's been a heavy maintenance couple of weeks. We put brand new chains on the Doxident dock. We did. It was so hard. Even though I only did one, one of the 4 chains, it was still really hard. So I will say, you captured that, so people understand what was happening. I think first we need to explain, because I don't think I ever really appreciated exactly what makes floating docks float, and probably there's lots of different things. But mine is anchored by 2 big anchors on either end, and the chains go to the dock from there, and that's what keeps it in place.
Floating docks float because of the floats, but they float in one spot. Not all the way down to Montreal.
What places the floating dock, right? The floating dock floats, but you keep it in place not by tying it to the shore necessarily, but with the anchors.
And we are closing the loop. We are tightening the shackle on an episodic occurrence in the Bodie Show, because we were recording when the chain broke on Doxident, the docks on Occident Island. And we were like, whoa, what's that all about? And we had to go check it out, and then we ended the show because Steph's floating dock it's 2 20-footers. So it's a 40-foot section that sits out about probably 10 yards, 15 yards from the shore. And the dock is lined up lengthwise into the current and into the prevailing wind. And at the upstream end of the dock, there's a huge chunk of concrete with a big shack, a big bolt in it. And there are chains, two sections of 3/8 chain that run from the front 2 corners of the dock down to that bolt in the mooring. And that holds it against the current and often against the wind. And then downstream, there is a big, it looks like it was a 55-gallon steel drum that somebody had filled with concrete and put another big bolt in the concrete and dropped in the river. And there are 2 more chains that run from the two corners of the downstream end of the dock to that. So you've got the place, the dock sort of secured at both ends, and it can move around as it needs to. And because there's two chains, it kind of keeps it from like moving side to side too much. And we were, if you may remember, I can't remember which episode it was. It was on the summer. We were on the houseboat, and one of those chains let go, and a big gust of wind had the whole shooting match swaying all over the place. The houseboat,
I think docks. It was right after the scavenger hunt because it was that crazy weather.
Yeah, that's right. It was a scavenger hunt episode, and so can't have that. And also
and I think you rightly pointed out, and then of course, so you've got the dock connected in this way, and then it's a very heavy houseboat. And I do worry about that. Like I do, like when the weather is crazy, I get worried about like what holds this whole mess here anyway. And then I think that was when it was, luckily it's a downstream shackle that gave loose,
yes.
But that led to you taking a peek at the rest of the the rest of the assets, if you will, and you had some concerns. You said, I believe you said to me in your most sober, I hate to be the bearer of bad news voice, if this were my dock and my houseboat, I would replace all of these chains. Dun, dun, dun. And I was just like, go back underwater and come back with different news. You are not welcome here. Goodbye.
Because there is a mode where I get into it, I'm like, you know what? We're not going to laugh about this. That was it. It was. I pulled the chain,
and you were also like, you knew you were delivering news. I
knew it, and so I don't know how to sell it. How should I sell it better? Tell me, help me understand.
Oh, I don't think there's any way. I don't. I mean, you could have like made the mermaid bumper say it.
Just like, Mandy the mermaid bumper.
Yeah. Yep. All of a sudden, all those young women who were like so excited about the empowering mermaid bumper, I'm not sure how we feel about this new voice.
Sorry, yeah, you're right. Like, why is Mandy like? Why
does she sound like
Hanky the Christmas poo?
The Disney princess.
Mr. Hanky the Christmas poo.
But I do.
You know what? One of my
voice aside, I think this is the right strategy for bad news.
It is?
I would very much like to
delivered by.
I would like all of my bad voting news delivered in the future
by a mermaid bumper puppet show.
Yes, please. Yes.
Maybe this could be part of next summer's live episode.
It's the only way. I will accept it. Otherwise, you just have to put your mask back on and go back underwater.
And come up with different news. So the thing is, like, we pulled up thank God it was the downstream chain that broke.
I know.
We pulled that up, and there was like the chain was still okay, but there were some shackles in line with it that were not okay, and those are what gave out. There were two. There was the one at the anchor end split, that was done, and then there was another one. There were like two sections of chain that had been shackled together, and those are both load bearing, and the shackle in the middle was done. And then I found some more of those shackles in the other chains, and that news would have been better received delivered via a mermaid bumper puppet show.
Yes, when we started this conversation, I did not think there was an answer, but I was wrong. There is.
There's an aside. Can I go back? There's an aside. I swore to myself I wasn't going to do voices on this damn show. Like I wasn't going to do pirate.
You've only said that you swore that you weren't going to do the pirate.
I know, but I don't think voices ever work. Like when I go back and edit this, I'm going to be like, oh man, you sound like a douche.
Okay. I'll let you worry about that.
But I'll leave it in. I'll own it. But you're the one who wants a puppet show from a mermaid bumper to get bad news. So, we're both kind of.
Blame it on me.
No, I'm not blaming it on you. I'm just saying that.
I should have done the voice.
No, just saying that I'm the whack job who's like making up voices for mermaid bumpers delivering bad news about your houseboat dock chains. But you're the one who's like, yeah, no, I need it like that.
That would be. I mean, I'm just saying it would improve things. But I did hear you. This is
why doing this show always cheers me up because, like,
I did hear you when you said it, and I did accept the news. It took me a minute. And then I had to do the very, very bad things. Like you did all the hard stuff, to be honest. Like you told me like how long they needed to be and how many, and you had to like tell me all the things, and I had to trudge my sorry self over to Reinman's, and thank God to Mary at Ryman's. She was amazing.
Shout out Mary at Ryman's in Clayton.
Shout out to Mary at Ryman's. She like
for all your For all of your shopping needs, because Ryman's has literally just about anything. You want a couch?
Yeah, just last weekend, the weekend before last week, I was determined to watch some U.S. Open, which I can't do at my house because I don't have any actual TV. So I went to the Boatyard, and they were playing the U.S. Open, and I brought the cocktail that has the melon balls, and we went to Ryman's because we had a melon, but no melon baller, and they had one. So, to your point, whatever you need.
You could have. You might have needed a couch, a bed, a melon baller,
nautical coasters,
4 20-foot lengths of 3/8
galvanized zinc
coated chain.
I know. I already forgot all those things that I had to go get
with shackles to match.
I had to make space for the next thing.
For the melon baller.
Yeah.
And the U.S. Open cocktail recipe.
Exactly. Yes. But no, I do feel like, you said, you gave me good advice. I was like, where should I go for a chain? And you said, go to the place where you like the people. And so I went to Ryman's because they're the best. And they hooked me up with everything I needed. They ordered it. I went back and got it. I didn't know if I'd be able to carry it, but I could. Put it in my car, put it in the boat, got it out there. I'm really milking this task.
No, it's good to recount all this because you did all that stuff and then you put one of the chains in.
I did, but I suffered. I really suffered.
You were pissing and moaning.
I know, I was really suffering. And I can't quite explain what I will try. But first of all, just so people don't think that chivalry is dead, you were very willing to do this, but you did have the broken rib situation.
I was jacked up.
Clearly not okay.
Like whenever you encounter these situations in your life now, you really don't want the default to be that somebody just does it for you. You want the default to be somebody helps you understand like what's going on. No, you just want somebody to do
Not anymore. Now I'm done.
Everybody, Steph and I on FaceTime, and she was just shaking her head violently while I was about to laud her for her interest in empowerment and growth. She's like,
there was a time
that empowerment, that growth,
where that was the case. I look back to 17 and a half months ago when I was enthusiastically learning how to power wash with Patrick Murray. And I was all, please show me how to do the things. And now I'm just like, do it for me. But I did do that one chain. And I think either way I would explain it would be because articulation of suffering is one of my many skills. It was like,
how can I argue with that? You can bracket, you can verbally bracket your suffering. Sometimes when we're talking about boats, you run out of words. You're like, it's hot, it's hot, it's awesome, it's hot. But
can we get back to suffering?
But can we get back to suffering? That's where all my vocabulary lies.
It was the combination of having to do something that was physically uncomfortable and also completely foreign at the same time.
You had to learn.
I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know what that little shackle thing was going to feel like in the water, out of the water, whether you put it in this way or that way, how to get it around the chain and all of that. Not knowing any of that stuff and having to figure that out and process that at the same time that I was underwater upside down. I found to be an almost impossible combination of tasks.
To your credit, you did it. You did it.
And just so everyone knows, you were on the dock laughing at me.
I wasn't laughing out loud. I was.
No,
I had a shit-eating grin.
You had a broken rib.
I couldn't laugh. I couldn't laugh. That was in the phase of my broken ribs where I would snap my fingers or clap instead of laughing. And so I think I was snapping my fingers and smiling. I had the biggest grin on my face. You kept coming up from being underwater, trying to find the end of the chain and the end of the anchor bolt and all that stuff. And you come up from underwater and you see me you don't have to smile so much.
You looked really happy.
I was. was. I was like proud of you.
No.
Yeah, part of it was that I was proud of you.
Partly. There was more to it than that. There was a little bit of like there was definitely some enjoyment of suffering.
I was I was proud of you, but also I knew that
you thought I just looked really funny.
You did
look funny. Which is also true.
True, yeah. Your hair was all like smacked anyway.
I'm just saying it was right. We just want everybody to know that while you put on the other 3 chains a week later, mine was the hardest.
Yours was the hardest for many reasons.
But for the most part, I'm super proud of us for doing it.
I am too. You even zip tied the shackle bolt so that it wouldn't accidentally come undone
multiple times
underwater.
We were learning. There was so much learning. It was amazing. But yeah, I did not do one of the deep. I only did the dock level zip ties, which just reminded me of Julie searching the houseboat for zip ties.
Did we tell that story? I don't know if we did. I don't think we can tell that story.
It was funny.
I think we can. I think we have to tell that story. Bottom line.
I think we just suffice it to say that there was this amazing moment where you said we needed zip ties, and I said, "Oh, I have some on the houseboat," and then Julie, who was determined to be useful and helpful, went and checked the bedroom for zip ties and came back apologetically saying, "I couldn't find them in the bedroom," and I was like,
"Jesus Christ!" She walked right past the tool bucket and the like utility closet and went to the bedroom.
I was like, easy there. And then she was kind of scandalized.
She was like, "Whoa, no!"
It was amazing.
And I think I had a broken rib, and I couldn't laugh as hard as I wanted at that.
Yeah. That was one of many things that made you dangerously close to breaking another rib with laughter. But yeah, so we did all the things, and now the houseboat.
That was just like last weekend or something. It won't. Yeah, the docks. So it's like the ankle bone's connected to the shin bone because like the chains are connected to the anchor, the docks are connected to the chains, and the houseboat is connected to the dock.
Or the ropes, if you wanted to just just really play that out for longer than anybody needs us to. But yes, exactly. Everything's connected.
All the chains. Replaced all the chains.
We did. We replaced all the chains. I'm super
We did that in the middle of our weekend when we recorded 2 episodes. We're a little rusty today because we didn't record last week because we recorded 2 episodes in one day on the Saturday of Labor Day weekend.
We have no idea what's happening. We have 5 agenda items and we made it through 1.
Which was the chains? That's it? Oh, wow.
That's it. That's all we've done so far.
What's the next agenda item? Talk to me. You have notes, which is very impressive.
I do have notes. I wanted to talk about the pie chart.
Oh, Walker's pie chart.
Boat decision making by the younger demographic liaison, Walker Pennington.
I asked Walker what he thought was most important to him in a kid's first boat.
Yeah.
Like the boat that
do you have the pie chart in front of you?
No. Wait, I think I took a picture of it.
Yeah, I think you did too. I think it's very important that we articulate his very well thought out.
And we were having this
irresponsible priorities.
We were having this conversation because a lot of people are asking us this summer, "Hey, what boat should I get for my kid? What should be my kid's first boat?"
Yeah,
and
we talked about that. Everyone wants a whaler, and you're super angry about it.
Yeah, everyone wants a 13-foot whaler. I'm like, listen, you can go buy one of those, but like they ain't been making them for a while. Those things are all end of life, and
we're just gonna do it all again. You're gonna go through the whole thing again. We already did the therapy around this, Jeff.
So because I have more ideas than time, one of my ideas is that the Boaty Show should design and build or have built the perfect boat. It doesn't even have to be a kid, but for like somebody to get into boating in. Yeah. And I wanted to know what Walker thought.
All right. So Walker's pie chart.
So
do you want to walk us through it?
Yeah. So I'm asking Walker, like, all right, like what's important, what's not in a boat for somebody who's, in their earlier teens and wants to like have a good time and wants to be cool and wants to like, but you can't have a giant, super expensive boat. Or you can. And I think that everybody should just get over themselves and let their kids drive their giant, expensive boats. But that's not as realistic. Also, like kids don't want to get into a giant boat the first time. They want something smaller that's right sized to them because they want to learn like, how this stuff works in a smaller boat.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I don't know about all these assumptions you're making about what kids want before actually just going straight to the data.
Okay, so we're talking about this, and Walker's like, well, here, let me draw a pie chart. So
Yeah.
I will go in counterclockwise direction and end with the punchline of the pie chart. So he drew a pie chart, and he divided up into quarters first. And so in the top left quadrant, 25% of what's important is, can I take my friends with me? Can my friends and I go in the boat? So that's like 25% of what he's looking for.
25%. Can I tell my? And so I mean, I have a lot of questions which I'll throw out there, but we don't need to answer these questions. But immediately I think, how many friends, right? But what we're getting at here is, I obviously want to have friends with me. So we don't know if it's 3 friends or 13 friends, but he wants to have friends along.
Yep.
So some space. He wants some space.
Some
Check.
space, and like also the right kind of space, but it doesn't have to be super fancy space. But he wants to have some space. Next, 25%. It has to go fast and look cool.
2 different things. Go fast, look cool. Check, check.
I was like, oh, but how it looks and versus how fast it goes. He's like, yeah, it just has to fast, cool. Like the two merged in his mind as he was
Fast and cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he's like, it doesn't have to be super fast, but it has to feel fast. Like driving around in your son Leo's 15-foot whaler with a 30 or 35 on the back. He loved that, right?
Yeah.
They did that, 3-4 years ago when they were much younger. And like that boat didn't go objectively that fast, but it sure felt like it because you're sitting 3 inches off the water.
Yep.
Right. And it looks cool.
Yep.
It looks cool.
No shelter. Super look. I couldn't agree more. That was a 15, right? The 15 with like a 35. We thought it'd be super slow. We were wrong.
No, doesn't take much to push those boats.
Yep. Okay. Next.
15% fishing.
I love this. 15% fishing.
Yep.
Great. I mean, it's a little vague, but that's okay. I'm hanging with it. You want to be able to fish with it, maybe with your friends, maybe going fast or looking cool, but also just fishing.
Yeah. He didn't really get into a whole lot of detail about that, but like there are some boats that are good for fishing and some boats that aren't. Like if your boat has a bunch of stuff sticking up, it's a pain in the butt to like cast a rod. Right.
Or I would also offer like the Deep V Cobalt. I mean, not really a fishing boat. Like, where are you going to put the, you know what I mean? It's like, it's too cushy, too much stuff going on in there.
I asked him, like, just fishing? He's like, no, well, like fishing, but like all sorts of other water sports. I just zoomed in on.
Oh, yeah.
And
fishing and water sports together.
Because I need,
of course.
Well, because I need glasses. I couldn't read what it said. So I was like, fishing and whaler shorts? I don't think it says whaler shorts. So I zoomed in and it says water sports. So tubing, wakeboarding. I got to laugh at him, is he? Tubing, wakeboarding, that kind of stuff. So he was kind of lumping together fishing and tubing and like going out and like doing that kind of stuff with the boat.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Okay. 20% aesthetics. Let me zoom in and make sure I'm reading that.
You are. I remember this. I remember thinking, looks cool and aesthetics have their own segments, which is amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. And like when I asked him like what's cool, he's like, I don't know, it just has to look cool. And I was like, what is aesthetics? So like, well, it just has to like, I think by that he meant like it needed to have maybe the right graphics or, color, that kind of thing. And we'll have to have him on to go into this more. Right. You ready for the punchline?
I'm ready.
The last 15%, how it rides. Does not.
I know. I love it. I think the first thing I said to you was like, whoa, how it rides is low.
Low. You didn't believe it. You're like, really?
Is that what he meant?
Yeah. Yeah, how it rides. Like, he does not care. I'm like, he's like, yeah, I know whalers pound and everything, but like, so.
They look cool. You can fish out of them. Done.
You can bring your friends. You can do some water
sports.
Aesthetics. They got the right aesthetics. Yeah, 15% how it rides.
It's and so
I think he just threw that in like for my benefit. Like I think it would have.
He felt like he should.
I think he felt like he should. I think it would have been
like
even
obligatory.
Lower. Yeah. No, go ahead.
I think we should all be forced to make such a pie chart for our own boat. Maybe what we should do for Boat Yenta is we should make up some little pie charts and make people fill this in beforehand. That's such a good idea. We should do a Walker pie chart before we do Boat Yenta.
We should, and then talk about it.
Exactly.
Yeah, like fill it in, and then like they filled in, and we don't see it before we start the episode. You are foreshadowing. We're working on doing a Boat Yenta with.
We are working on it. It's in the works.
A couple of Bodie Show fans. Yeah, so that's the pie chart. 15% how it rides. So friends.
15% how it rides, and then if we put together aesthetics and how it looks, what do we get? More like 45%.
Yeah. This speed, looks, and aesthetics add up to 45%. So
it's
there
amazing.
you go. Yeah.
I love it. I was so deeply impressed by this. I really was. I think I really think there should be more conversations about boats that include pie charts of this nature.
I agree.
It's so I don't have words.
It's so much more like scientific than
It's
actually.
so much more scientific. Exactly.
And it's not very scientific in itself, but it's way more scientific than usually what happens, which is usually like, I like it. It's hot.
It's hot.
It makes me feel fluttery inside.
Speaking of that, we do have one boat of the week. Speaking of feeling fluttery, we have a boat of the week, but the copy about the boat of the week is amazing.
So, would you like to present it? So, this is from Sam Hinckley. Yes, that Hinckley, a branch of the Hinckley tree.
Did you actually go to the site and read the article?
It was a little like throw up on my mouth gushing.
I was like, it was very love letter. I was like, wow, like this is this person's really excited. Okay, I don't know what to say. I don't feel like all of the words in the article were words I had never heard before.
So this is the Hinckley Daysailor, the Hinckley 42 Daysailor review. And this is a review from 2007. And there weren't a lot of pictures in this, John.
There was just the one picture, right?
Yeah.
It does have a dark blue hull, which was just by definition, we love it.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. There's some wood involved, which is always good.
Mm-hmm.
Like, some varnished wood. There's, it's really quite gorgeous. But yeah, it's weird how few pictures there are. But why would you need pictures if you have this obsessive level of enthusiasm in the writing? It's amazing.
Do you see anything in the write-up that you want to read?
Nope, not that. I can't.
Here, I got one. Love at first sight will go a long way toward choosing buyers for the Hinckley Daysailor 42 because she is a glass slipper among hiking boots.
Oh, all right. Now, that's a lot.
For you.
Wait, where was the part I could not get over? I can't find the part I like.
Classicism usually equals restraint, except in the grand gestures. And the DS-42's seemingly excessive crescent-shaped rocker profile certainly qualifies.
Yes, exactly. It's so... Anyway, let's get to the point here. I mean, I'm sorry I wasn't a little bit substantial. Bulwarks. How do you say that?
Bulwarks. Yeah, you got it.
There's a lot happening here. Oh, sacrificing a significant... Right, this was the one that Sam quoted in his write-up.
Should we go back to Sam's write-up?
Usually equals grand gestures, seemingly excessive crescent. This is the one you just read. Sacrificing a significant chunk of waterline. Did you read this part too?
No.
Sacrificing a significant chunk of waterline length is worth such an elegant overhang. Yeah, Sam quoted that piece, which was amazing. The other compromise, if you hope to provide comfortable sitting headroom in the accommodations in a low profile in the trunk cabin and top sides, is a deep canoe buddy amidships. It's funny, right?
It is.
I don't know. Underbody.
A deep canoe belly.
The DS-42 and the wave-making resistance it creates limits her top speed. Will anyone care? I'll wager not. At least among the seriously interested buyers. Because the DS-42 is all about the pleasure of hassle-free sailing, of slowing one's frenetic life for an hour or two or more, of sailing in peace when the mood strikes. Truth is, the mood will strike more often than not.
Mm-hmm.
Here we go. One look at the Daysailor 42 will set a sensitive sailor's fingers tingling with the feel of the wheel between them. Anyway, delightful. I don't know about the boat, but the write-up is amazing.
I mean, this is Yachting Magazine. It's like, Dear Yachting Magazine, I never thought it would happen to me, but...
No, exactly. Exactly what I was thinking. It's totally Playboy for boats.
So Sam writes, in keeping with the electric boat theme, and because if you think the picnic boat is an exercise in the excesses of design, you're going to love this. I bring you the Hinckley Daysailor 42. These are still Sam's words. A concept
well said.
Yes. A concept built by Hinckley in the early aughts before they gave up on sail entirely. It inspired such literary brilliance and insight as the following.
And he quotes the article.
Quotes what you just read, right? Then the best line is that he has is like, note that the spars, which is that's Bodie for mast or boom, basically the long things that the sails hang on. Note that the spars are hand painted to appear to be wood because why not?
Oh, so good.
He's so good.
And also a winner.
He is.
Because everybody else has given up and trying to figure out whether we have email or not.
Sam persisted. And then he played through. And the boat of the week. Wait, oh my God, we did a boat of the week without playing the music.
Oh no.
So in order
the only reason anyone tunes in.
Right, it's true. I think the episode where we took our hiatus, nobody listened to it.
All right, we know what people like about us.
So they like Jay Nash's music. So Sam, you are the winner of Boat of the Week, and as winner of Boat of the Week, the hot admin when she gets off of vacation mode, which she's still like rolling on vacation mode. We'll mail you a sticker. I think you owe him two. Didn't you send him one already? Anyway, here we go.
It's the boat of the week, stable or sleek. Check out that vessel, baby, isn't she sweet? It's the boat of the week, the boat of the week. Ooh, how I love me, the boat of the week. Da 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 da. Hey, yeah, let's check out the boat of the week.
I see in the email thread here that you also wrote, seen from either after quarter, the delicate tumble home in the stern will interrupt your breathing.
That's right. That's maybe what I was looking for and couldn't find it. There you go.
The
there
design,
you have it. Good job, Sam Hinckley.
Good job, Sam Hinckley. You win. And you would have won this thing sailing away, pun intended, for many reasons. A, this thing's ridiculous. B, your copy wins. C, there are multiple divisions of Boat of the Week, and you submitted a sailboat, and nobody ever submits sailboats. So if anybody wants a sticker, just send a random sailboat our way. You're probably going to get a sticker. Also, if anybody wants a sticker, just shoot us an email or messages. Ask us for a sticker, and we'll mail you one with a handwritten note.
Did you see that I finally put one on my boat?
I did. I couldn't tell if that was your boat or not. I thought I saw a GPS in the corner, which I didn't think you had on your boat.
I do have one.
Oh.
And that was my boat. So that was, I'm finally catching up with the branding. Well, that was satisfying.
That was.
The only thing we haven't covered here, well, I did want to mention, I found this to be a particularly satisfying moment. And I feel like this has come up in the past a little tiny bit, but I do have this special experience of, people may remember that I used to drive a Menemsha whaler that we called the Baby Lamb, and that was a very favorite boat when when my kids were young, and blah blah blah. It's a very unusual whaler with a little cabin in the front, and then I destroyed it sufficiently and sold it to an enthusiastic boater who was looking for a project, and they live in New Jersey, and they kept in touch, and they come back to the river, and they renamed the boat for whatever reason. Its name is Boat, and which I suppose if you're gonna have to name your boat, I think there's nothing wrong with that. And they come back and visit, and they call me, and they're like, "We're in the bay with Boat. If you want to come down and see us." So I get to visit my boat on a regular basis, which is delightful. I'm so pleased. I just feel like it's such a gift to get to maintain this relationship.
I just thought of a horrible analogy.
Would you like to share it, or would you like to not share it? I can't tell.
I don't know.
Your body language is making it very hard to tell.
I think it's probably pretty bad, but it's just sort of all right. No, I came up with a way to refactor it from its original
I'm super scared.
Inappropriateness. It's like you're some sort of Cruella de Vil running an orphanage, and then the boat gets adopted, and You've trashed the boat, and then it gets adopted for its forever home where they actually take care of it.
Oh God!
See, I thought
now I'm
pretty dark.
Super scared of what the original analogy was. Anyway, to me it was not quite that dark.
Okay, yeah, I don't think. No, I'm not sorry, but I'm sorry.
It was I think it just makes me so happy. I get to see the boat, and then get to look at it, and it looks nice, and it's blue on the inside.
Do you want it
and
back?
I get to visit with it and maintain my relationship. I do love that boat. Maybe someday it needs to come back to me. I don't know. Maybe they'll take my current boat and fix that up. We could just trade.
That's the symbiotic relationship you need.
That's what I'm looking for. That kind of be really nice. That would be really nice. Anyway, it's actually the more I think about it, the more I'm like, that is such a good idea. Why didn't I never think of that before? They must be so bored.
The wistful tone in your voice, but also the look on your face where you're like, that would be so nice.
Like, shit, that's genius. Why does it take me 10 years to offer them my new hammered boat? It needs the help. Like, we had some rough days this year, man.
Yeah. Yeah,
I
mean, it's clean.
The boat sinking.
Mm-hmm.
We had the snap off of one of the things that stands up on the top of the battery. They would try to put the thing on, then take the things off, and that whole
the terminal,
thing.
the post. Yes.
The terminal, the post. Thank you. There was that. That was the whole thing. Yeah,
the busted stern light.
Busted stern light. Yes, exactly. That was the whole thing came off.
And like when your bow light wouldn't turn off.
Yeah, my bow light didn't turn off when you turn the lights off.
But then it magically started turning off when you turn the lights off, but still came back on.
And now it does turn off.
Yeah, that's what you want to look. You want that kind of unpredictable behavior in electrical systems. That's what you're looking for.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, as long as it ends well, it's fine.
I'm going to put a marker out there. I had this idea that next summer in the Thousand Islands, if you have navigation lights that aren't working, I will come fix them for free because I have gotten spookily good at figuring out what's wrong with navigation lights and fixing them. Mostly because the launches that we coach from have navigation lights because sometimes we're out after dark or at least at dusk. And those boats get used hard and nobody ever pays any attention to them. So the nav lights are always going out. So I fix them all the time. Anyhow, if you next summer in the Thousand Islands, if you have nav lights that don't work, I will come fix them for you for free.
That is a service and a half.
Mostly because I don't want you out there running around without lights on.
You're right about that. It's
and I'm mostly concerned about my safety, but next in line after that, yours.
Mm-hmm. There, it's a real PSA there. That's a good one.
So I'm going to put that marker out there.
I used you over the weekend on multiple occasions. Well, just one, but it all worked out. I had one more. No, nobody. It was all safe.
Nobody drove without nav lights.
No, because we have like a little Makita thing that has a ballot on it, which is really handy. Okay. You can just give it to somebody and they just stick it on. But Julia Purcell also found battery-powered LED nav lights that you just clip onto your boat. I'm going to get a bunch of that too.
Yeah.
Labor Day resolutions, Jeff?
Yeah, pretty much to eat better, work harder, sleep more. Take my medications.
I feel like you and I both rolled out of Labor Day weekend, just sort of scraping and crawling at the shore, clawing at the shoreline to haul ourselves out and just and we were like, who needs New Year's resolutions? It's really all about Labor Day.
We need Labor Day resolutions. You haven't really trashed your life in December, but over the summer, you definitely did. Woo! Yeah, you've eaten too much processed meat, hot dogs. You've drank too much. You've not exercised. Well, yeah. And by you, I mean I.
No. I mean, I think you speak for a lot of us right now. I get it. I love this. I love this idea.
Labor Day resolutions.
I had a huge I was wide-eyed and just shocked by my own level of debauchery.
So I know that when I got up to go to work on Tuesday morning and I had no clean laundry, I couldn't find either of my pair of work shoes or my nice belt, and I'm like, oh Jesus, what am I gonna? I got to go to the office, but I don't have anything appropriate.
I know.
I put on a pair of.
People are like, how come you don't stay on the houseboat throughout the week? I'm just like, no.
To go to work, go to and from work from there.
I know. But here we are. I mean, it's mid-September now, so everything we're well. We did those resolutions for a week, so we're good now. You've been.
Tell me about one resolution that you're trying to stick with.
I think it was my microdosing alcohol.
I wasn't fishing for that. That was yours to say, but I did. I called you and you had been lifting weights. Have you kept doing that? You're
I don't know why that's so funny.
It is like you're all out of breath. I'm like, oh my God, are you okay? Because like whenever you're out of breath, it's usually because you've been chased. but you not in a good way. And you're like, yeah, I was just lifting weights. I was like,
Not in a good way.
you have been lifting weights. Yeah, bad chase. There's good chase and bad chase.
Oh my God. Yeah, yes. I mean, I would say that I did just have a back procedure, so I didn't lift weights today.
Oh, okay. Yes, yeah, that's fair. But I was fully
responsible. Like after like drinking and like eating ibuprofen all summer long, I decided that was a bad idea.
Yeah, we did have to have the fatty liver talk.
I come to Jesus. I was like, please tell me all the reasons I shouldn't be doing this. And you were like, really? Like in your mermaid bumper voice.
Well, in the voice that you don't want me to use because you'd rather I use a cartoon voice with a mermaid bumper. Yeah, I was like, well, I was like, you really want to know about fatty liver and alcohol and ibuprofen? And I told you that.
I said, I really do. It's
going
to be better than Googling it.
This is bad news. Yeah.
I've been doing some microdosing of alcohol, which I feel like is going really well. And then a friend bought me like these like super optimistic box of like electrolyte packety things that you dump in your water. And so I think for like 3 days at least I drank those. which was
Why
amazing.
was the box optimistic?
Because there's like 16 of them in there.
And you're like, can I replace the Tang with this?
That's actually a really good idea. Let's make a wellness drink for polar bear dip.
No, the Tang mimosas were for the eclipse. But I think a wellness drink for polar bear dip is brilliant.
It's a really good idea.
Oh God.
An electrolyte rim. Yeah, we're doing that. That's on deck.
I wanted to close out the episode because you went for a cruise in Jay's boat, which is the Bluffer, and you stopped somewhere and then sent me a picture.
What was it a picture of?
Mooring whips.
Oh, yes, of course. We did. We stopped at our friend's house on Wellesley, and it was right on the channel, and it was a Sunday afternoon, and it was very busy, and we were visiting with Celia and Shar, and we pulled the Bluffer in, and if people remember, the Bluffer is a big, beautiful wooden Chris Craft, and Jay has a lot of heart and soul and money.
And sweat equity.
And sweat equity and all the things in the boat. It's very important, family heirloom, blah, yada, yada, yada. And we pulled in, and we know, and there were mooring whips. Is that what we call them?
Yeah, mooring whips.
And so, interestingly, so we were sort of like, can we use those? Because we don't usually have those.
No.
Because we just don't have exposed docking situations.
No.
So I had never used mooring whips before. And I don't know if Jay had either. I couldn't tell. We were all a little out of our depth.
No, keep going. This is a safe space. You can tell us about this.
And the person who we were visiting said, well, there's a whaler was using them yesterday, but it's a lot lighter, so I don't know how it's going to act. So we hooked up the whips to some cleat. I think we tied some ropes around some cleats and then hooked the mooring whips to the ropes is how Jay did it, and then kept a close eye on it. And I would say it was 98% successful.
Awesome.
First experience with mooring whips.
And usually the episode names are very organic. They just come about in the course of the episode. But in this case, we have to admit that the episode name for this episode of Whips and Chains came about because Stephanie sent me a picture of the mooring whips and said, oh my God, we have to talk about the chains and these whips. And the episode could be Whips and Chains.
I feel like I a little bit manifested it too, because like for sure, like I was like chains. I was like, you haven't.
Because you like nobody ever really thought that like every aspect of boating was double entendre. Nobody really thought about that until this podcast.
And I don't know that anybody who knows me would recognize this part of don't know why it comes out in this scenario.
It's only really come out since February, since we started doing this. I really think that's true, except for the ball, when your towing thing last year with the balls, the balls and tongues.
There's really no way around that. That was not me. That was the naughty people that invent all things Bodhi. It's just not my fault. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Oh, anyway,
it
was it was a new experience. It was very interesting. I'm so glad. Great job pulling all that together.
Contriving to actually discuss the mooring whip so that we could name the episode. Yes. Thank you. I'm here to serve. Okay, we're gonna wrap it up. I want to put a plug out. I'm going to actually post some links to the fundraiser for Jeremy's MS ride.
Nice.
Multiple sclerosis. Don't really think a lot about it because it doesn't kill people like dead in their tracks. It just affects them. It's incurable, degrades their nervous and muscular system over hopefully a long period of time. And it friggin' sucks. And the MS Society raises a lot of money through these rides. And we don't ask a lot of you listeners. But we do ask occasionally for some support, and I would love it if you kicked a little bit of money. Doesn't matter how much. The number of donations is in a lot of ways just as important as the amount of donations toward Jeremy's fundraising team, and I will post some links about that. Stephanie, do you have anything you'd like to plug?
I don't think so.
All right, cool. Well, we are out.
That's it for the Bodie Show. Pack the cooler, grab the lines. Let's go, go, go. Yo, ho, ho, ho.
That's it for the Bodie Show.
That's it, man. Good job. Thanks, everybody.
Stay Bodie.
Stay floaty.